Spire text line, but right now we will go back to the Farm Bureau phone line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team, Mississippi Farm Bureau. One of the best left-handers to ever pitch for Mississippi State. 95, 96, 97, Eric Dubose. And then earlier this season, he was inducted into the Ron Polk Ring of Honor at Mississippi State for what he accomplished in his time in Starkville. Joins us right now. Eric, hey, thanks for a few minutes of your time, and how are you?
Man, I'm doing good, and thank you for having me. I really do appreciate it, and quite an honor.
Let's start with the induction into the Ring of Honor. I was kind of reading a story about that, and the way you found out that you were actually being inducted came from your former head coach, right?
Yes, sir. Coach Polk called me early one morning, and I think it was a Saturday morning, and he said, Eric, congratulations on getting into my ring. And I said, oh, thanks, Coach. He goes, yep, I didn't vote for you, but I guess you'll do. So just typical Coach Polk, never missing a chance to roast somebody, but at the same time, wouldn't have it any other way. Having the phone call come from Coach Polk and being inducted to the Ron Polk Ring of Honor was just truly a surprise, and it's quite an honor for sure.
What was it like playing for him?
Man, I mean, I get asked that a lot, and Coach Polk, I mean, he never really got on to us. Him getting on to us, Eric, hold it, here we go, holy mackerel, you go throw strikes today. That was kind of Coach Polk, but the one thing that I do remember is like he didn't treat anybody any different. If you was the star on the team or you was the 40th man on the roster, you couldn't tell by the way he treated the players. He had relationships with all of us, and continues to have relationships with all of his players that he had. And even as far as my kids go, like my kids know him, and he knows them by name. And I think that's one of the cool things, and one of the things that makes him so special is that his relationship with his players and their families now. So that was it was really nice playing for Coach Polk and getting to be a part of his legacy that he left at Mississippi State.
Eric, you can't go too far down the list of great pitching performances at Mississippi State without somebody bringing up your complete game against Washington on a Monday in the 1997 regional here in Starkville, coming off short rest. Complete game. Just sort of talk us through that, and how the decision was made. Hey, we're coming back to you on this day, and how you prepared for that.
Well, I started earlier and won a complete game against Ohio State, game one, and I think we had a rain out or something that gave us an extra day to get me to 3 days. And really, as soon as we saw that I was getting 3 days rest, I think I knew it, and everybody knew that I was getting the baseball, and that's what I wanted it. So it was sort of like, all right, let's go figure it out and see what we got. And against Washington and Magruder, who was absolutely on fire. I know Mississippi State fans still remember his name just for the weekend he had that regional. So it was just time. It was that time of year where you don't look around. It's like who's getting the ball, and you go do what you have to do to get a win. And our defense, Brooks Bryan had to catch, and there was so many things that had to happen for us to get that win on that day. And it was a great way for the storybook of my 3 years there to come to an end with us hosting a regional, me getting to pitch my last game at Mississippi State, and that to be at that caliber of game, and to be able to finish it, and just for us to go to Omaha after that was a great way for me to close my time there at Mississippi State for sure.
Visiting with former Mississippi State standout pitcher Eric Dubose, two-time All-American. He was All-SEC. Had about 350 strikeouts, I think it was, in one season. Maybe not quite that many, but set a school record of 174. I mean, it felt like it. Eric, I remember watching you pitch, and I grew up in Oxford and actually went to church with Brad Freeman. Well, yeah, okay, fair enough.
I had to slide that in there. I'm sorry.
I kind of set myself up for that one, but I was headed in the direction of, Brad Freeman was a guy that I grew up with. He was a few years older than I was and, kind of looked up to and was such an athlete. But when I think about the names from that team, Richard Lee hit 371 in 97. You mentioned Brooks Bryant and Adam Pyatt and Freeman and, Barry Patton and Travis Chapman and Oswald and the whole deal. And you guys were loaded that year.
We were, and we all came in together. I mean, Chapman was a year after, but my freshman year, and me and Freeman's had a chance to reconnect here really a lot this past year. We went to one of the first regional games, and we saw each other at high school at one of the regular season games and stuff. So me and Freeman have got to reconnect, and my freshman year when I was on the mound, there was times where we had an all-true freshman infield, and we've talked about because I hear people all the time saying, "Oh, he's a freshman, he's going through the freshman jitters or whatever," and I'm like, do you remember anybody saying that we shouldn't be there or them making it like we didn't belong or it was all right for us to not have success because we were freshmen? And, man, I tell you, the staff did a really good job of making us feel like this is where we were, this is where we belong, and we were ready. But like you said, man, when you talk about Adam Pyatt and Brad Freeman and Richard Lee and quite honestly the best of all of us was Rob Oswald.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a absolute freak and a beast. And, so we were expecting our junior year. Like we knew that there was, if we didn't make it to Omaha, we really thought we should win it. But that was our goal coming in, and anything short of that was going to be very unacceptable. So as a staff and as a team, man, we really knew what we had and how special of a group we had, and expected every time we went out to win.
That 97 College World Series was sort of like the SEC West Invitational. 4 teams from the West made it that year, LSU, Auburn, and Alabama. For a pitcher, what was it like pitching back in the Gorilla Ball days?
Oh, it was awful. And then I think that's the reason I have all the records, the strikeout, the walk, the hit by batter, all those records, because you couldn't pitch to contact. I mean, you got guys swinging 34 29-ounce bats that are hot, and they didn't have to square it up. They just had to get the barrel to it, and the ball just took off. I mean, it wasn't just at the -5, but it was that they were hot as well. So it's been it was tough pitching in that area. I mean, you look at LSU and Alabama. I know they both had over 180 home runs, and
Jeez.
It was. So it was a tough time to pitch, but at the same time, our hitters were hitting them out as well. So it was what it was, but it was a different era of baseball for sure.
We talked with Jim Robinson yesterday. He was catcher on the 1990 team. I don't know if you know Jim or not, but one of the interesting things I thought was we talked about how kind of his time at Mississippi State set him up for a life in baseball. He's stayed involved in the game. He's, one of the highest rated scouts with the Boston Red Sox. It's been similar for you, right? I mean, after you play college ball, some time in the minors, you get to the big leagues for a little while, and now you've stayed involved through youth baseball, correct?
Yes. Yeah, and, that baseball has always been a part of my life and something that I always knew that it was a part of me. And, after playing, I got out. I tried the college coaching stuff for 1 year, and it was having 4 kids. It was just something where I really didn't have the time with my family to go and try to climb the ladder in the collegiate ranks. And, because while people were doing that, I was playing. But, East Coast Sox, it gives me a chance to be around high-level players and to give back and to sort of let them have some of the experiences that I've had through this game. And so just being able to share with them on the ins and outs, and the do's and the don'ts, and what I did right, what I did wrong, and what it takes, and being able to share that with the next generation of baseball players has really been a cool deal and a godsend for me to have this opportunity with East Coast Sox and these young men that we're with now.
Eric, part of a great legacy at Mississippi State, one of the guys that played on the 1997 College World Series team. Eric, really appreciate you visiting with us and having a little fun this afternoon. Hey, you're welcome in Oxford anytime also.
Well, I appreciate it, and thank y'all for having me.